Hi everybody! If you're new to our channel, we're Doug and Mary, and we've been traveling and camping the backroads through Canada and the northern USA, finding hidden gems and beautiful scenery almost everywhere.
Last time, we made our way through northern Maine and then back into Quebec and Ontario, saying goodbye to Canada and finally ending up crossing into Michigan. Stay with us as we find our way to a ferry that is actually a historic landmark and into Wisconsin where we stumble upon a historically crazy road. Was the surveyor lost or was this an engineer's last day on the job? Our first stop was for gas, and then an overly high-priced shower and a car wash. Then it was up the west side of Lake Huron.
We found a wild camping spot pretty much in the center of Michigan. It was a nice location, but there were dozens of other campers up and down the road, some whooping it up and tearing around on ATVs until well after midnight.
Left onto West Railway Street.
The next morning we left early and made our way to a cafe in a sleepy small town for a great breakfast. Then backroads, more small towns, farms, and hardwood forests until we couldn't go any farther west before hitting Lake Michigan.
needed to be on the ferry to cross the lake early the next morning, so we found a nearby municipal campground for the night. Having access to shore power was nice since our solar panels were blocked by the tree canopy. The ferry across Lake Michigan is actually an extension of U.S. Highway 10, which originally was a major route running east and west across the United States from Detroit to Seattle. Much of the western portions of Old Highway 10 have now been replaced by interstate highways in the same location.
We had to leave the keys in the van and allow the staff to load the vehicles onto the ferry, since they are packed in tightly right to left with no room between and unloaded in the reverse order. The SS Badger, along with its now decommissioned sister ship, the Spartan, were built in 1952, originally to carry automobiles and passengers, as well as rail cars. Train tracks are still on the floor of the ship.
This is the old ferry, and it's been docked here for years, and it's the sister ship of the one we're going on. Apparently they just scavenged it for parts for this one.
She is the last coal-fired passenger vessel operating in North America, and one of only a handful left in the world. The Badger is a designated National Historic Landmark.
This ship doesn't look like it's changed since 1952.
Much of the ship is largely maintained as it was originally built, and it is like traveling in a moving museum.
Door County, Wisconsin is a vacation hotspot for the larger cities to the south and occupies the peninsula of the same name. It is filled with beaches, small towns, picturesque farms, and artisans. We decided to spend a couple of nights at a quaint, restored 1960s theme motel in downtown Sturgeon Bay. The motel regularly hosts music festivals and writing workshops, and is partly owned by none other than Jackson Browne.
Tomorrow we'll have a full day to enjoy the northern part of the county. The evening was spent walking around the downtown area, seeing the pubs and waterfront before returning to our motel. This type of country is perfect for slow travel, frequent stops, and walks.
It feels safe here because there's no sharks.
There's little babies.
Yeah, I know. There's several groups of them.
Oh, there's the bug.
That's why they're all together here, is they can't remember whose babies are whose.
This area is also known for its dairy industry and cheese products, and there is no shortage of cheese stores. Of course, we had to do a tasting and buy several different varieties.
This is Land's End, the end of the peninsula, the tip of Door County. And this passageway is known as Death's Door. The last half mile of road is known as the Curvy Highway. There are various stories about why this was built this way, but it has been this way for nearly 100 years. One theory was that it was influenced by a famous Danish architect that lived in the area. But our theory is that it was still early in the day and the road crew was nearing the end of the peninsula with several more loads of asphalt on the way that needed to be used up. Either way, it is a famous section of road, not like anything else you're likely to see, and it's fun and whimsical.
So that's where we stop for today. There's still some road left in this trip, so join us next time when we close our loop around the Great Lakes. Thanks for watching.